Really honored to be the first woman to be talking to you today, then, Lynn. That's such an honor. And it's such an honor to be talking with you, period. So
Thank you
I'm
so
so
much.
excited to talk to you about this movie.
Thank you.
Thank
It makes me googie.
you. So, what was it about the character of Max and the film in general that attracted you?
Well, I had never gotten to really play a really nasty person. That was supposed to be nasty, in her demeanor. And it had several aspects. I loved that I got to look good, I got to wear cute clothes and have my hair and makeup done and the whole deal rather than a schlumpy. I'm used to playing a lot of kind of down and out characters some of the time, or the motel owner, not particularly glamorous women. And that Max has a way of loving her own glamour, and that she's got a mouth on her. I mean, I love that she's, speaks her mind, and that she's not very nice. And I mean, I think luckily we were able also, I think, to fill the spaces in a little so you understand more about her, why she acts the way she does, which I thought was a very important element to the story and to storytelling, rather than her just be the nasty studio head who likes to fire people. That's, it's just that's not that interesting to me. But her story became more interesting, and so I was delighted. And Paul Boyd, who's the director, is someone I had met some years ago during COVID. We did like a podcast, sort of mock COVID program where there was the patriarch of the family was dying, and it was all the phone calls to all the family members. It was very interesting, and how that ignites the relationship to the family, that this man is dying and can't really be the head of their household anymore. So I met Paul during that, and also Eric Barrett, who is the producer. So they've been sort of part of my life for a while, and then when they asked me to do it, I said I would love to. Um, and I think it's a really good story, so here it is.
Yeah, and you look like you're having so much fun. I kept thinking that when I was watching it. I'm like, oh my gosh, she must be having a blast playing this character that everybody's like afraid of, and
I
also
know
talking.
it's fun to be mean,
Yeah.
but only in pretend, because the repercussions are not going to follow you for the rest of your life. So it was a very fun character to do.
Yeah, yeah, I bet. And I'm wondering too, like you talked a little bit about that, but like the outfits you wear, especially when you're going to for the seance and you've got those heels on. And I'm just thinking, like, did that really help you get into that character too? Of just
Yeah, it did. Because first of all, it gives you a different posture, and for whatever that means, there's a sassiness to high heels that make you use your legs differently and makes you move differently, and that makes it almost easier. It was an easy element to add to give Max that sort of like, even if she wasn't really smoking, she was always smoking.
mhm.
She's always like that, kind of. And the wardrobe is a very important part to me of finding a character. And I told them I wanted lots of leather, I
Yeah.
mean, and it could be pleather. It didn't have to be, but we wanted real leather, and black, and sort of she thinks she's kind of vampira, a little bit vampire, and gives her an edge. So those were elements that I think really helped me find also Max's movement, how she moves, and how she kind of has this throwing things around in her with her body, that she was very fluid with. Kind of,
Mhm.
she'd slap somebody across the face with the back of her hand if she could. So it was very useful for me as well.
Yeah. Yeah, those outfits and that leather outfit and the outfit that you're wearing to that seance was just so incredible to
Oh, great.
see. Yeah, because it added such another layer of like, and I don't know, you talked a little bit about the background for the character, but I don't know if you saw this too, that it almost added like, even though Max is confident or comes off as very confident, it almost added like it's another layer of protection against vulnerability.
100%. Thank you for that. That is hopefully because people that dress like that, that's often what's going on in general. When you want to feel like, God, kind of gives you that, that attitude. And yeah, she used that because we gratefully, I think, in the storyline find out that there's more to her than that, that she has reasons for being the way she is as well. And we all look for protection. I mean, I do, we all do, even when you think you're not, you try and insulate yourself from pain of whether it's emotional or physical, you dress that way a little bit, what's good, or you show yourself off because you want to attract something. So it's all very calculated, even if it's subliminal, I think. And she was very much like that, like give me the thing that's gonna, kind of.
Yeah. 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 And those movements and everything, which you were amazing. So
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. And I loved also how, with the whole like, don't call me Maxine, don't call me anything other than Max. And I think even that adds that layer of like, especially I think, and I don't know if maybe this was how you approached it too, but being a woman in the industry and in horror as
Yeah.
well. And so having to have that, did that come?
Be tough.
Yeah.
And like, anything having to do with female was, sexy. Yeah, but not female, so that was, yeah, call me Max. Yeah, we did talk about that a bit too. And I think it's not so much as it used to be, but I've been in the business a long time as well. And you remember how women had to really, the early studio heads who were women,
Yeah.
they had a tough row to hoe. I mean, they were pushed plenty by the male world, and finding our strength, and being able to use it without being. It's not about being a bitch, or it's not about being nasty, but it's about being strong and having an opinion and sticking to it. And she probably wasn't as strong in that department as some of the studio heads that really have run studios in LA, but she was trying.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is that thing. I think it's that dichotomy that where it's like, you're told not to be too mean, but then you're also told not to be a pushover, that finding that balance.
Yep, and we both know that world.
Yeah. Yeah. And then lastly, I just want to know, and as much as you feel comfortable sharing, what did you learn about yourself as an artist or even about the genre through making this?
Oh, that's a great question. I I always learn something a little bit. It feels like I always learn something a little unexpected, and I also have fear in places that arise that surprise me some of the time, um, about either performing or uh, kind of subliminal things that I don't really think about because you have to kind of override them to do the job. But looking for the vulnerability of the character, you also reveal the vulnerability of yourself. And you can keep trying to sort of push it back into the character, but it physically is affecting. I mean, I always think people say, "How do you cry in a scene?" Well, I don't know the answer to that. The answer is the scene becomes real to me, and your body doesn't know you're pretending. You can really you can ignite all kinds of things with thought. And I mean, that's actually an acting exercise, we used to do at the actor studio, believe it or not, where it's taking a moment and really thinking of a past moment. And it's not corny. It really happens. Your body goes right there. I mean, it's easy. It's easy. The harder you push, the harder it is. But so I learned a lot about Max through myself, and I learned a lot about myself through Max. I really did.
Well, I love that. I love that answer, Lynn. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for talking with me. It was such an honor and such a pleasure to speak with you.
Same with you. I hope we
Thank
meet
you.
again. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you.